Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Today's episode of the Mike O'Mara Show is brought to you by our bonus packages. Please go to MikeO'MaraShow.com and click on the bonus banner. You'll get access to all of our bonus content, and even better, you'll be helping out TMOS. So please quit sucking, and we thank you.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store, and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
The Mike O'Mara Show. We give, and we give, and we give, and we give. And we take a little bit because we are, making a living here. That's what we do for a living. Yesterday, we gave you a heads up, and a lot of listeners appreciated it, on the Mayans MC television show on FX, the spinoff to Sons of Anarchy with Sarah Bolger. It was a wonderful interview. Today, we enter the world of literature, and we're going to speak to an author in a few minutes here that has authored a series of crime novels that are really, really fantastic that I discovered up in Maine. This is a best-selling author named Paul Doiron, and he is a Maine guy. We're going to take a trip into the Maine literary world here, and the book I have is not his current novel. I've got a book called Bad Little Falls, because his latest novel called Stay Hidden, which is a Mike Bowditch mystery, is up in Maine, where I finished it. And that's the first one I finished, and now I'm on to the second one. My wife is on to the third. He's written 9 novels, and what I didn't realize until this morning when I was taking a peek at his bio is that he is the former editor of Down East Magazine, which for anybody that knows Maine,
magazine.
I take that magazine, and I love that magazine, and I've read it for a million years, and so he's Maine, and I'll tell you the whole story about how I discovered this guy, and we were very, very fortunate to get a best-selling author on the show. Always nice to talk to somebody who is so much brighter than we are. And,
yes.
And I also like to break the mold and prove that DJs can read, which for a long time, there's been speculation that there's not a disc jockey in the country, from Mancow to Greaseman to Howard. We don't read. We really don't read.
You glance, but mostly what DJs read have a lot of exclamation points. They tend to go to content that is very exciting, lots of capital letters, lots of colors.
Say it like this.
Right. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, everybody knows that Jackson Weaver was illiterate, and so it was
Mike, but a functional illiterate.
What about Wolfman Jack?
Illiterate. Wolfman Jack couldn't read a lick. He signed his name with an X back in the day, so it was
every contract
was signed with an X, and so it's going to be fun. We've got a great mailbag. I peeked ahead in the mailbag today.
You never do this.
We have an author, and we have it's really, really, really fun.
Packed and stacked.
And I'm just waiting right now to see what... Oh, okay, he's ready. We can get to him right now, which will be a lot of fun, and I'll explain my situation here. Paul Doiron is on the line with us right now. I was at a small bookstore in Bar Harbor, Maine, called Sherman Books, or Sherman Store, or Sherman and Peabody.
Was he there? Was Sherman there?
It was sure. I don't know. So I'm at this bookstore, and there is a Maine fiction section of this bookstore, and the bookstore has a reasonable amount of people in it, but this particular section of the bookstore is jammed with people, like 3 deep, and everybody's in the Maine fiction section, and there is this author, Paul Doiron, who is people are just pouring through his books. And I said, that looks interesting. And I picked one up off the shelf, and I gave it to my wife, and she read it in about half an hour. She loved it. And then I picked it up, and she gave it to me. The book is called Stay Hidden, and I absolutely fell in love with this book. And I thought it would be fun to talk to a real official Maine author, and he's on the line with us right now. Paul Doiron, welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show.
Thank you for having me, Mike.
It's great to have you on, and these books are really, really, really fun. And after I discovered this, I realized that you've knocked out a few of these books, 9 in total. Are they all Mike Bowditch? Is that the main character in all of your books, the 9 that you've written?
Yes, it is. It's I sort of follow him from his very first days as a Maine game warden, and then I kind of chart his adventures and misadventures over the course of I don't know, 5 or 6 years actually. I started the series when I was in my early 30s, and I'm getting a lot older than he is.
Well, this is your 9th book, and you're all about the great state of Maine. If you wanted to find out what Maine's all about, this is a great way to do it. Your main character is this guy named Mike Bowditch, and he's a game warden. That's the center of all of these. You just wouldn't think of a game warden as being someone who would be central in one of these crime novels. How did this all come together? Where it was Maine, it was the game warden. It's fascinating. It's a great series of books, and I'm just curious how it all came together. Why you chose a game warden as your central character in these crime novels?
Well, the first thing I should tell you is that in Maine, game wardens are sort of fully authorized officers of the law, so they train at the Criminal Justice Academy and have all the same arrest powers as a state trooper or whatever. It's an unusual situation in that regard, and in fact, actually, they call the game wardens sort of Maine's off-road police force. But I've been wanting to write mysteries, and I realized that I don't know anything in life except for one thing, which is I know about the Maine outdoors. And,
okay.
So it was this intersection of, okay, I want to write a mystery, and the only thing I know about is the outdoors. How am I going to pull this off? And then suddenly it was, the light bulb over the head moment of, hey, wait a minute, if I make a game warden my detective, maybe there's something here.
Yeah, it's really these are so much fun. The latest book is Stay Hidden. By the way, it's on sale everywhere, and you've gotten amazingly good reviews, and these books are very well regarded. You wanted to ask a question, Rob Spieler?
Yeah, if possible. I was going into your website, Paul, and you have a great list of like every character in all your books, and it's like 200, 300 people. I got to know, you say, write what you know. How many of the characters or the recurring characters in your series are based on people that you know in Maine?
I think I probably shouldn't answer that question.
That's so cool.
My lawyer's advice,
That's great. Here's what I find interesting. And anybody that's spent any time, that doesn't have to be Maine. It can be any rural area. It can be the Rust Belt. It can be everything. You seem to, at least in this latest novel, I'm just starting Bad Little Falls. So I don't think maybe I'm not going in the right order. But I read Stay Hidden. You seem to have really tapped into the anger in Maine and the anger that you hear about in the news media nowadays. About there's some pretty pissed off people in the state of Maine. You seem to tap into that. Is that something that you've seen change of late by any chance?
Yeah, I think it's been a transformation in Maine over the last 15 years or so.
Right.
It's a very rural state, and people are, we were at the bleeding edge of the opioid epidemic
right.
back before it got on the national news, and we've had paper mills closed all over the state. I mean, that was like the primo job to have if you,
right.
back in the day where you graduated from high school and you went into the mill and you worked there all your life and you made $75,000 a year and
right.
got all the toys and everything, and those jobs went away, and so most of the wealth in Maine is right along the coast, and we also have the highest proportion of second homes in the country. So there's a lot of resentment towards tourism, for instance, and towards what we call, summer people.
From away.
Yeah, from away.
From away, yeah.
I'm one of them. I know exactly what you're talking about. I understand.
But we don't resent you, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Well, when you say we, you don't mean Mike's family.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That was
the royal we.
This is a deeper dive, Paul, than I thought we'd do on this. But since you articulate it so well, my best friend up there right now is a year-round Mainer who is a lobsterman, and. Yep. I know what you're talking about. Although the paper mill thing, you've identified that. You were with Down East magazine for a long time as the editor there, and that's what's probably changed. And I've noticed it because I'm 59 and I've been going up there since I was 5 years old, and I've sensed it it's definitely an angrier place since this all has gone down. Not great necessarily for the state, but certainly something that translates well into a crime novel, I think, right?
Yeah, right. The more conflict, the better for me.
Right. Did you always want to write crime novels? Was that the type of writing that you wanted to do?
No, actually, I mean, I did one when I was young. I've always wanted to be a novelist, and I went through a phase when I was, my early teens where I thought I wanted to write mysteries, and then I ended up going to Yale, which turned me into a literary snob. And I needed to have some of that, knocked out of me before I realized that, mysteries are fantastic, can be fantastic works of literature, and and I just love telling great stories and having people respond to the characters, and my pretensions have been one thing that have dropped away over the years.
It's so good, and I haven't done my little rave. You're on this show because my wife. I picked this book up to give my wife something to read this summer, and then she said, "You're going to love this. You got to read this right after I do." Then I did, so we became fans instantaneously. Oscar, I know you wanted to ask Paul a question.
Paul, I'm always fascinated where people find their inspiration. And I know that you discussed your background, the magazine Down East Maine. Mike, when he first started going back to Maine and spending summers there from the Washington, D.C. area, he would talk about this magazine like it was the magazine to read and take.
I love that. Yeah, my mom, God rest her soul, it was my yearly Christmas present was a subscription to Down East. It was great. It really was.
I'm curious, from your experience, you got, as the editor, you get a chance to meet so many different people, so your body and the context you have when you write is fantastic. There also has to be some, outside of your writings, some experiences working at a magazine like that that are just fun to have that you'll probably never have anywhere else in the country. And I was hoping you could share one of those with us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The great thing about when I finally became editor-in-chief was I was writing the books at that time and actually publishing them, and I could assign myself a story.
True.
to go travel to someplace cool. I've stayed at all the nicest inns in Maine, I think.
That's great.
For the purposes of research, of course.
Of course.
Right, of course, right, with an expense account. Right.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. I got to, this is a good one. I got to ride with some wildlife biologists and a forest ranger pilot, a U.S. Forest Service pilot, helicopter pilot, over most of northern Maine, counting moose from the air.
Wow.
That's awesome.
In the wintertime, right? So, and it was amazing. You could see them, and they would spook at the sound of the rotors, and they would powder would just explode as they started to run. It was just an amazing experience. I mean, and that was one kind of experience that I had in Maine. Also, Maine now is like somehow mysteriously has become like this food destination, and I certainly have eaten well over the years on the company dime. I'm no longer with Down East Magazine.
The thing that was cool when I was looking at your stuff here, you're a registered guide specializing in fly fishing. So how's the fly fishing in Maine the last few years? Pretty good? Or I know nothing about that subject.
Well, I'll have to get you out. It has been good. I mean, drought is never great for river fly fishing, but we have. I really like to go fishing for striped bass off the beaches. The flats. It's almost like fishing for bonefish or something, where you.
Oh, that's cool.
You can spot them from a ways away, and you have to kind of creep up on them and drop the fly right on their nose. And but of course, we have a really wonderful trout fishery up here, wild brook trout, principally, and landlocked Atlantic salmon, which are just acrobatic in the air once you hook them. So. Yeah, there's a lot of good fishing opportunities in Maine. Not huge fish by and large like you might expect in some other places, but man, fish after fish after fish.
We're talking to Paul Doiron, and the book is Stay Hidden. It is a lot of fun. I could not recommend it higher. This is a character, crime series starring Mike Bowditch, who is a game warden in the state of Maine. What is it about game wardens? You mentioned that they're sworn law enforcement officials in Maine, but you don't think of that profession as your typical crime magnate. What is about game wardens that got you so jacked up? When was the lightning bolt? When did that happen? Say, hey, this could be a crime series.
Well, I realized that, among other things, I mean, there's a lot of the year where every person that a game warden meets in the woods is armed.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
is not, that's not typical of other law enforcement. But you're alone as a game warden. They typically, they don't partner up unless they're doing something special, and so they're driving around miles and miles. They have these huge districts to patrol, and in fact, my local game warden has a district that's larger than the state of Rhode Island. So, and he's all by himself in a truck or a boat. And,
I get it.
And I think there's something about that's really compelling, because you just realize, man, if this guy gets into trouble, there's nobody around the corner here to come help him.
I get it. Okay, that makes sense. I get that.
Paul, I got a question about your process. You've got the character in place, and obviously it's a character that works. It's worked for 9 books. When you come up with a new book idea, and I've been a mystery fan my whole life, I've always wondered,
You're going to love these, Rob. You're really going to love these.
where do you start? Do you start with the solution and work backwards? Do you start with the conflict and sort of work both sides? What's your process to getting to where you need to go in the story?
Well, I always start actually with my main character, because I know that he's the reason people are ultimately reading it, and people want to know, like, what is he dealing with personally and professionally. But then I start, then I have an idea for what the crime is and the setting. So, for instance, Stay Hidden takes place on this island 20 miles off the coast of Mount Desert, Bar Harbor, and so I have my setting, and then the crime kind of comes to me. I read a lot of the news, and Lord knows there's plenty of crime to steal from. But the way I describe my process is that I have a destination in mind, right? I know what the ending is, or I think I do, but I don't know how I'm going to get there. So it's almost like, I have a map out, and I may follow it, but if I see something that says scenic detour, I might go off on a scenic detour, and it might end up being a dead end. But ultimately, I don't know how I'm going to get to my destination, but I know I'm going to get there. And
So you don't work backwards. You actually just figure out where you're going to go. It's like a nice trip.
yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
I love it when we're talking to people smarter than me, Rob.
I know.
I really do. You know
All of
what?
us added up.
All right, Paul, we appreciate you taking the time. We're talking to Paul Doiron. The book is Stay Hidden, but we'll let you go in a second. But I have to ask I have to take a little, because I'm a super nerd fan now, I have to take a little bit of a deeper dive here, okay?
Yeah.
Now, bear with me, because I know you're a New Englander, and in my household, this is kind of awkward, but I have to ask this. This might be awkward. You're really great at describing hot women in your books.
Oh, really?
All right, but now hold on.
Didn't see
He's
this
not-
coming.
Now this is just based on Stay Hidden. He's not over the top, but you do it in such a way that and I don't know if anybody's ever broached this subject with you, but when I'm reading your female characters in this book, I feel is you just beauty. You don't have a lot of overt stuff going on, but or saying the nape of her neck or anything. But you describe
What?
you just no. Hold on. I know I'm getting nerdy here, but
Okay, I want to
you
hear the end of this.
It's so different than your novels,
Yes.
Mike.
You describe the women in Stay Hidden, and you just do a really, really good. Has anybody ever told you that
Well-
that you write? And because I think of the line. Is it the line in As Good as It Gets where? Where he says, "How do you write women so well?" But you do, right?
Yes.
You drew your female characters without hitting us over the head with it.
I get it,
You just
get it,
your
get it,
female
yeah.
characters that you describe are just like, man, I'd like to see a picture of her. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense
Mike,
to
you
you?
are such a creep.
Yeah, it really is. It's getting
I'm
creepier.
sorry. I enjoyed it. No, it wasn't like
Let
I'm
this
sitting there
question
and-
draw to an end.
Well,
Okay, I'm sorry.
I think it's a fine line between, art and prurience. I walk that tightrope, every book.
Good. Okay. All right. It's really. I mean, the women are. You're just kind of you get very invested in the characters because you do this, but you don't go crazy about it. It's just really interesting. It's just another reason I like this stuff.
You were
by the
about
way,
2 sentences away from Mike Bowditch investigating you, Mike.
All right, thank you. Let me. Last question. Can you? And this is for me. Can you pronounce the name of the island where Stay Hidden takes place?
Yes,
Because I remember. I remember one of the first books I ever read was The Old Man and the Sea, and I knew nothing about the New York Yankees, and I read the entire book thinking the great DiMaggio when he's talking about Joe DiMaggio, okay? I had a similar moment with the island. It's I said it, all right, I'll give you my pronunciation first. I called it Maquat, or Maqua. What is the pronunciation of the island?
It's Maquoit.
All right, I blew it.
How do you
spell
it?
Maquoit.
Obviously,
Is that right?
Yeah,
is that the correct
McCoy.
spelling?
Yeah, it's
Paul?
obviously McCoy.
All right,
Yeah. I have to get a little pronunciation guide in the paperback edition when that comes out, I think.
Hey, see what I did?
Yeah, very
see
nice.
What I did there?
I'll credit Mike O'Meara.
Would you ever consider teaching an old radio guy how to fly fish? Maybe next summer, Paul. Could we do that?
I might. I do charge a fee for that, though.
I'll pay you. I'll pay you. I'll go fly fishing. But I mean, do you take novices out when you guide? Because I really never fly fished. I really haven't done that.
That's actually the funnest thing about being a guide is teaching somebody how to just get started with it.
I'll reach out, and Oscar, I know you have a last question here. What?
Paul, look, I've worked with this man for over a decade. I've listened to him on the radio for 25 years. If you want to mine for gold for subject matter,
yes,
and you want a DJ from away that commits murders, this is perfect. This is perfect.
His lifeless body was face down, fishing pole across his neck, the nape of his neck.
All right. Well, Paul, continued success. I take it after Stay Hidden, you got one more, 2 more? I know you're contracted to write a bunch of these. How many is there? Will there be another?
I'm working on one that will be published July 2nd.
There you go. I love that.
And I'm pretty desperate to finish that one. And then after that, I have a brand new shiny contract for 3 more books after that.
Oh, cool.
Oh, awesome. Paul Doiron, really, what a pleasure talking to you. You can get all the information at pauldoiron.com. And the book is called Stay Hidden. If you want something that you can tear through, a wonderful read. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining us, Paul. Appreciate you coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You.
That's a real official Yale graduate, brilliant author, editor-in-chief. They're really a lot of fun, and this is the one that I'm reading. They look like that if you see them in the bookstore, too. There you go. Bad Little Falls. That's where they send Mike Bowditch out to like the nether regions. And, as a Mainer, I dig it. And he's just down the road from me. I could actually knock on his door.
When I told him where your house was,
me.
when I told him where your house was, he was like, oh, as if to say, that's a little close.
Yeah, that is close. Very, very much. What were you going to say, Oscar?
I think that we owe it to ourselves. Sometimes you got to lead people to water. What if we created a premise and we did it with the best way we know how on the air for a mystery novel for Paul, where we come up with the title and the subject matter, and then we just pitch it to him. He'll never write back, but it'd be fun to do on there. Like Invisible Airwaves.
Let me mention that Paul is
Ghost
a
of the
best-selling
Village.
He is a best-selling author, Oscar, who does not need our assistance.
Yes. Mike, his 10th book, Who Ate the Oni?
It's so, if you want to really get a taste of Maine, he was so articulate about why people are pissed off up there too.
It was very good question.
And in Stay Hidden, you get a lot of these characters. I've seen
he keeps
a lot
peeling
of it.
out in the driveway.
And listen, based on that, I don't think it would be me committing the murder. I think it would be me ending up dead. That's
No, you would
happen.
commit. They got to kill the celebrity off early. You're the celebrity that is killed,
right?
And he's got to find the person.
Okay, I get it.
That murdered you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And his first suspect, because he can write them so well, is Carla.
That's right.
Yeah, and then the ultimate murderer is my sister.
Yes, of course.
There you go. Novel over. Thank you. We've got it. All right. We got a great mailbag. We'll do that when we come back. Start the show, Rob Spiewak.
It's the Mike O'Meara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Meara Show at www.mikeomearashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
I don't see that as being a typical process, nor is it a typical process to be working on.
We've got to go now. I want to thank you both. Thank you. All right, it's back to you, Jim.
Ollie, don't let her go away. That's what. Does she have a response to that? Is she still there?
What's that?
Did the lady just leave?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. We should have kept that discussion.
She's back if you want her.
Yes.
She heard you.
Yes.
What would you like to know?
I'd like to know a response to what the gentleman said. The gentleman's a very effective spokesperson for the company, but obviously the people who live there are not satisfied with his explanation.
Right. So what do you want now?
Well, if I have to teach you how to be a reporter, Ollie, I'll do that later.
Why don't you do that later, Jim? I think the lady expressed herself, and you're not here, you're there. Is there any question you'd like me to ask her?
And no, I'll give you lessons on how to become a reporter later.
Well, I'll give you some lessons on how to be an editor, because I was your boss once.
Yeah, you were, and are no longer. How did that happen?
Well, I don't know.
Here's Ernabel DeMillo.
Good morning, Jim. We are live at the fight.
Now, wait a minute, Herb. Why don't we ask her a little more about the robbery? Like, what time was it?
What's that?
What time was it?
All right. What time is it?
It's Bill Hader.
Like 10 a.m.
It's 10 a.m., Jack. You ought to wear a watch. When I was an anchor, I always wore a watch. Take it away, Jack.
Stop it!
Hey, I'm not going to take reporter lessons from some haircut.
Well, maybe you should, because you're a lousy reporter.
This broadcast, by the way, is brought to you by Kale's Brill Cream.
No, it's not.
You son of a bitch.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara,
That's a
Rob
great-
Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his easy chair, here's Mike.
We are live from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., in the Podcast Village studios. Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show. The Mike O'Mara Show, or TMOS to all of our friends, is a radio show and podcast with loyal following listeners who get it. If you're listening right now, you do too. TMOS always ready to hear from you. We've got a wonderful mailbag today. We love our Wide Open Wednesday phone calls, which we will do tomorrow. Audience participation, the name of the game. We love to hear from you all over the world. The Mike O'Mara Show is on now and brought to you by Cornerstone. Is a low credit score preventing you from buying a new home or from refinancing and consolidating debt? If so, don't worry. There's an answer. You need to talk to our friend. His name is Mark Livingstone. He is a great guy. He works at Cornerstone First Financial. Mark told us if you don't have a credit score of 680 or higher, the big banks and quick online mortgage firms aren't going to work with you. But Cornerstone can make it happen. With the rise in interest rates, banks are making less money and loosening guidelines to compete much more aggressively. So even if you've been turned down before, you may qualify for a purchase or a refi, or you might even use the appreciation of your home as a virtual ATM with a credit score as low as 560. Cornerstone has been Oscar Santana approved.
They got me in. They got my brother-in-law in. They'll take care of you.
They will.
Like, I can say with supreme confidence that if Cornerstone First can't do it, nobody can. Call Cornerstone First right now and watch them meet or beat any deal out there. They are the best, and they are Oscar approved. Click their banner on our website. Visit cornerstonefirst.com or call them 202-625-1221. Mention TMOS and receive a free appraisal at closing. Cornerstone First Financial. Personal attention from application to closing. And now, without further ado, let's get right to it, or we will be horribly late on the program. Not about us, about you. About you. Super ho, hi ho. Have a hello, Did Paul Doiron, the big smart author, think I was a moron? Sure he did, yeah.
You write women so well.
Yeah, Nape Of Her Neck.
Hot. I shouldn't have used the term hot.
The sun hit her sundress.
Here's our first letter.
Silhouetting
Hi,
her.
guys. I wanted to wish my brother John a happy 59th birthday. He's a daily listener, bonus show subscriber, and a Fruitcake Futures buyer. Woo! I have several older brothers, but John's the only one who ever calls me or spends time with me, so I have that going for me. Well, that's a little
That is
sad,
nice.
isn't
That's
it?
nice, though, that they keep in touch.
That's it. No requests or quarters to be dropped in the slot machine. Love the show. 62 days till fruitcake. How's that going, by the way? How's all
going
your
great.
prep
That's
going for that?
fantastic.
Yeah,
Rob?
Mike, I'm glad that you're coming in to bake. Ready to go.
Mike has already started washing his hands using a nail
Looking
brush.
forward to it. Yep. Count on it.
The fun begins when you arrive.
I'll be there. Phil Druin wrote that. Thank you, Phil.
We found his lifeless body in the bakery. No one knew.
The ladies explained that the disc jockey was murdered, Chuck.
My husband, Jesse Morgan, turned 35 last Thursday. He's a longtime listener and made a fan out of me, too. Thanks, Jackie Morgan.
Jackie Morgan.
But isn't that special?
Sounds like a baseball player, doesn't it? Jackie Morgan.
Hi, guys. I'm submitting my own birthday shout-out. It's today with a humble request for a reprise of Little Michael's original composition. Did it ever receive an official title? She has included the transcribed lyrics. This is our friend Linda Herr.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Love you guys like crazy, and can't wait to hang out at both shows in Vegas. That's from Linda Herr. All right, so she's got the lyrics here. How do you want me to do this, Rob? Do you want me to
well, I've had
share
the lyrics
I
included
first?
the lyrics in case we didn't have the tape, but you have the tape. I would think the best thing to do would be a reading followed by a recording.
All right, here is the my son, a musical prodigy, wrote we haven't titled it, but let's call it the Dead Man in the Sea, since we're on the subject.
I would
of
like to
murder
call
mysteries.
it 1, 2, 3, Man Didn't Care, because in the Methodist hymnal, when a song has no title, the first line is the title.
All right, it's called 1, 2, 3, Man Didn't Care. I'll read the lyrics to you. 1, 2, 3, Man didn't care. Went to sea, the thing didn't care. He. This is so dumb. Not me reading this.
No.
Not my son. He washed up on shore. No. For someone find his body, throw his bones into the salted water. A lobster boat came, found his bones, put them in a hot pot, and baked them for dinner. Nah. Said he didn't care. He didn't want to watch. He went down. And we happen to be fortunate enough to get a copy of the original recording available in record stores now. Michael William O'Mara and 1, 2, 3, Man Didn't Care. Go.
1, 2, 3, Man didn't care. He wanted to see the thing, he didn't care. He washed up on shore. No. Someone find his body. Throw his bones into the salty water. A lobster boat come, found his bones, put them in a hot pot, baked them for dinner. Then he didn't care. He didn't want to wash. He went down.
I've been looking forward to doing that all morning. That was my favorite part of the show right there. Oh, and I had that great author on it. I've already enjoyed this more. This is a good show. I knew this would be a good show today. I rarely say that, but I knew this was going to be a good show.
So many great writers on today's show.
It could go. We got a lot of time left. It could go to crap.
Yes.
Now I think Pony's going to do something wrong.
We'll see.
Dear TMOS gang, I'm writing in to wish my brother-in-law, James Borden, a wonderful, happy birthday. He's a dick. This is the letter, not me, saying this.
I know.
Even though my C wife, James C. sister, doesn't even listen to the show, she's the one who suggested I write to you guys. Could Dr. Hannibal Lecter drop in and describe James, the defense attorney from North Carolina who is obsessed with college sports, Mini Coopers, Guns N' Roses, and comic books for his birthday present? Can't wait to sink my teeth into your fruitcake. Thank you for all you do. Keep up the funny. Rami Misla. And so what he wants.
Do we spin? Do we spin? I think it's a he. Do we spin for Dr.
Rami is a he?
I think so. Wasn't it indicated?
Rami sounds like a girl's. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Now I'm insulting Rami.
Yeah, he says his C wife.
His C wife.
Yeah.
So Rami is a dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we spin for Dr. Lecter, or does he just come in?
No, I'll just do it. I don't like spinning anymore.
You know what? Kill the spinning.
Let me just go. I have that ready.
Kill it.
And,
let
me open the door.
Yes, kill it.
All right, here we go.
Hey, what's up, Doc?
Hi there. Yes. What's his name here? Even though my C wife, James' sister, doesn't. I can't do it. There's
James
too much
Borden.
information. James Borden. James Borden, 5'2", likes northern James Borden, 5'2", likes Mini Coopers, college sports, Guns N' Roses, and comic books. For his birthday, I went to visit James Borden.
Yes.
I ate his liver with a nice Chianti. There, I'm sorry. That wasn't very well prepared. Do the best I can. Truly doing the best I can.
I gave the old college try.
Yeah, it was nice. Always good when the doctor comes by.
Thank you very much. Hi, man. I intended to submit this birthday greeting request for my daughter over the weekend, but unfortunately, Daddy had one, possibly 7 too many drinks, and spent Sunday praying for the sweet release of death instead of writing in the mailbag. Tardiness aside, could the team wish Lily Israel a happy 5th birthday? She's an amazing daughter and an awesome big sister. She listens to the show with me nearly every morning on the way to school, and it would blow her mind to hear her name mentioned on the podcast. Well, Lily Israel, Lily Israel, Lily Israel, how are you?
Oh, don't scare her.
On
Don't
the way to school.
scare her.
Oh, I'm sorry. If it's possible for the Gingerbread Man to give Lily a birthday shout out, that would be extra cool. Thanks for everything you guys do. Cheers, fellas. Sincerely, Carrie Israel. Can you give Lily Israel a shout out, Gingerbread Man?
Someone call my name. Lily Israel. May you have all the gumdrop buttons in the world on your birthday. Happy birthday.
I like the way the Gingerbread Man says Lily Israel. That worked. Hey, TMOS, I loved hearing Justin Schlegel on the show Friday. So did I. I legitimately got goosebumps hearing my favorite Baltimore morning show host interact and laugh with my favorite podcast hosts. I was legit happy for Justin because it's well documented how much of a fan he is of Mike and the show in general. It was so cool. Tom Burnett. I really look forward to hanging with Justin out in Las Vegas. That's going to be a lot of fun. Now, buy tickets to that show.
Hey, Gingerbread Man, should people buy tickets?
Please buy tickets.
Come on. Hey, Rob and Joe. Hey, Rob and Joe. Hey, hold on. Rob Mayer, Joe Robinson. Hi, this is Mike. Effort has to be expended. You have to get on social and talk about the show. Cool dudes. Being your mellow comedian selves, okay? Channel a little Justin, dudes. All right? Instead of getting on in there and going, yeah, I'm funny. Rob, it's going to require more, okay? You got to get out there and we have done our job. We need you to, I want more people to buy tickets to this show. I'm sorry, Oscar, I had to do that. I felt it necessary. Is there anything you would like to add to this situation?
Can we move on now?
Okay. Hi, Mike, Rob, Oscar, and the rest. I am so glad I ordered one of Rob's fruitcakes. It gives me something to look forward to. Not only has Maine been a cold and dreary place since Mike's departure.
I didn't realize you can control the weather.
But sadly, today is my birthday.
Oh,
this
dear.
is a sad letter. That means I have to choke down one of them god-awful birthday cakes my wife bakes. This is a funny letter. You could get me a sharp knife and soft piece of white pine, and I could... I'm not giving this letter enough credit. Let me start again. All right, I'm going to go from the beginning.
Please.
All right, from Eric Cook's letter here. Here we go. Hi, Mike, Rob, Oscar, and the rest. I'm so glad I ordered one of Rob's fruitcakes. It gives me something to look forward to. Not only has Maine been a cold and dreary place since Mike's departure, but sadly, today is my birthday. That means I have to choke down one of them god-awful birthday cakes my wife bakes. You could give me a sharp knife and a soft piece of white pine, and I could whittle a better tasting one.
Oh, man.
Jumped up Jesus Christ. You'd think, judging by her girth, she'd be a better cook.
Oh, dear.
Now, I'm not down on her for being so large. I don't mind tonnage in a lady. She's shade in the summer and warmth in the winter. I just wish she was as good in the kitchen as she is in the dining room. Maybe I can convince her to take me over to Dick Queasy's for dinner. Has he got any birthday specials going on? Tight lines, Eric Cook. Have a happy birthday, Eric.
Happy birthday, Eric.
As good in the kitchen as she is in the dining room.
Shade in the summer.
Oh, God. All right, next letter. I love you all. I love your show, and I love your promo codes. I just saved $130 buying my brand new Uni Pro.
Yeah!
Yay! I'm making uni tonight. I'm really excited.
Nice.
We're going to take. We're going to do a video too. Carl and I are going to do a
great.
video.
Nice.
I cannot wait for it to show up. It is beautiful. My family has pizza every Friday night, and my wife loves to roast vegetables. We were going to build a brick oven, but this makes so much more sense and is a lot cheaper. Great sponsor, great products. AD.
S&D.
Oh, S&D. Sorry.
Yes.
Andrew McClellan. P.S. I shop at the same Costco as Rob, and one time when I saw him in the parking lot, I yelled out his name, and he waved at me. I was so excited, I came home all giddy and told my wife, and she called me a dork.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you for...
I went home and told Carrie about it. She
Sure
called
did.
me a dork, too.
Dear mail bag, B-A-G-G.
Gross.
I just want to say I am goddamned old. I turned 67 last week, and I forgot to send a timely letter. But in a way, I'm glad it happened, because I got to listen to this week's bonus show. And as I was listening, I realized that Carla and I are the same astrological sign. Oh, I know who wrote this. Virgo. Then I looked up Virgo with Virgo relationships. Jesus.
I know.
And there I found my birthday gift. Oh, I know. I'm not even going to read ahead.
Oh.
This has
You know?
got to be.
Yeah.
67, I know who this is.
Yeah.
When two Virgos join together in a love match, they are likely to structure their lives in beautiful conjunction. The merging of two incredibly practical, industrious sorts, such as these creatures, an incredibly devoted and doting couple. The reasoning and logical abilities of two Virgos together can quite possibly solve all the world's problems.
Wow.
This isn't from an astrological book. He made it up.
I'm sure he did.
They are a versatile and brilliant team. They're incredibly compatible, and this is obvious to them and to their friends. Together, they make a wonderful pair for pleasing one another and working on the perfect relationship.
Oh, God.
Thanks for a happy belated birthday, and hi, Carla. Dirk Vastrick.
Wow. Hey, you know what I wonder?
You're getting dangerously close there, Dirk.
I wonder what astrological sign Dirk's wife is.
Good
Yes,
question.
amen.
Great
He's
question.
a
Very good.
married man.
Great
you know.
question.
Yeah, turnabout fair play there. Boy, this is a fat mailbag
It
today.
is.
Show's going to be over. Good morning, fine sirs. Before I get to my request, I just wanted to simply say thank you. This is a long one.
Yeah, it's worth it, though. I think you're going to like this letter.
Thank you for providing an entertainment outlet that really is an inside joke only to the hippest cats that get it. Dated pop culture references with an old-time radio style that really is excellent to listen to. You're the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas, the best of the best. When us TMOSers get a weird look or head shake from someone who just doesn't get it, we simply smile and tell them to S-a-D and waddle doodle. And now my request.
Yes.
September means another trip around the sun for me. Hopefully, it also means another installment of the annual Greaseman and Shannon show. For this year's scene, I have strayed from the norm and selected a piece from a more modern cinematic feature and one that us TMOS fans get. I have included a handful of Reichsmarks for Rob to insert into the TMOS request machine of fun and hope it hits 3 Aldo Reigns for Mike and Rob's rendition of the bingo scene from Inglourious Bastards. Thanks again for being awesome. If you're ever up north of the border and are looking for some poutine, maple syrup, and decent beer, please give me a call. High fives and hugs and kisses from Jonathan Lambert in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. What does he want here? What is this?
He has provided, let me kill the music. He has provided the script from Inglourious Bastards, and he wants us to do the scene, but you're going to be playing the role as the Greaseman, and I'll be playing the Brad Pitt role as Scott Shannon.
Well, we'll give it a try. This is pretty complex.
What this is,
Oscar.
this is high comedy, Mike, right here.
All right. Well, who got? Are your lines written down?
Yeah, you start. You're Colonel Hans Landa as Greaseman, and Mike, you pick up as Gentleman.
Hey, gentlemen. Yeah, I have no intention of killing Hitler. Yeah, I'm killing Goebbels and killing Goering and killing Berman. Yeah, not to mention winning the war single-handedly for the Allies, only later to find myself standing before a Jewish tribunal. If you want to win this war tonight, we have to make a deal.
What kind of deal.
Yeah, the kind you wouldn't have the authority to make. However, I'm sure this mission of yours has a commanding officer. General, I'm betting for OSS with my, that'd be my guess. Oh, that's a bingo. Is that the way you say it? That's a bingo?
You just say bingo.
Bingo. Yeah. How much fun. Yes. All right, that's it. Thank you.
The All-American
All right.
presents
That was a little bit
Shannon
much.
with more hit music.
It was a big bowl of okay. That was just okay.
I thought it was nice.
It's just all right for me, as Randy would say. Anyway, that's it. We'll take a break, and when we come back, I don't know what the hell we're going to do. We've had too much show already.
You'll do something.
I'm going to go home. All right, we'll take a break and be right back on the Mike O'Mara Show. Ladies and gentlemen, he went down.
This fall's going to be great, and the More Network is the place where you can get it on. With your emails and gifts on the Tuesday mailbag and your calls on Wide Open Wednesdays. The return of Nikki Diamond. More fun and more thrills with all of your favorite shows on the all-new TMOS app, along with 2 new ways to share the fun of TMOS through IGTV from Instagram and the TMOS channel on YouTube. And TMOS Live 2018 in Las Vegas. Sin City will never be the same. Don't miss 1 minute of the fun and hijinks with more to come on the all-new TMOS app and at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Just listen to us now.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. I think it was Ethel Merman who once said,
I love pizza.
That was her.
men love fire, too. Fire.
Fire good.
Long and short of it, you need an uni. Uni is the world's first portable wood-fired oven. Right now, as we speak, there is an Uni pizza oven on my lanai. For those of you that have never been to Florida, a lanai is an outdoor space.
Patio.
Where you can cook.
Yes.
Get it? Uni is the world's first portable wood-fired pizza oven. This is an amazing device. You can make authentic Neapolitan-style pizza in just 60 seconds. I mean it. 60 seconds. How, you ask? I'll tell you. It heats to 900-plus degrees, and it cooks in an instant. I've got an Uni Pro. Mine has a gas attachment on it, and we have been making pizzas since this wonderful device and the gas attachment came to my hot little home. There are 2 models to choose from. The Uni 3, that heats up to 932 degrees in 10 minutes, and it's portable, and it's the size of a carry-on bag. Look at Rob chomping at the bit to talk about his Uni. Rob Spiewak has made his own pizza dough. He's made his own pizza sauce. He's Alton Browned the S out of this Uni.
No, Mike, what'd you miss? You misspoke. What I did is I perfectly browned my pizza. I didn't Alton Brown my pizza. I perfectly browned my pizza. There's pictures on my Facebook page. Go look at my pizza porn. It's wonderful.
Okay. The Uni Pro makes larger pizzas. That's the one I have. Because I'm a pro.
Look it up.
Look it up in the book. Mine heats to 932 degrees in 20 minutes, offers a quad fuel function. What does that mean? 4. Quad is 4.
Yes.
Okay, so you got your wood pellets,
1.
you got your wood chips, you got
2,
charcoal,
3,
and you have gas. I use the
4.
gas because I just go out there and I go, clicky-poo. I fire that sucker up, and then bingo, we put the pizzas in there. Do you put cornmeal under your pizza dough when you slide it into your oven?
I did not this time. That is my next trick that I'm going to do because you were telling me it makes it slide so easy. I've been using flour.
It's not just pizzas. You can use it for perfectly seared steaks, roasted vegetables. For a limited time, Uni, this wonderful product, giving our listeners 20% off their purchase. Go to uni.com. That's OONI.com. And enter the code TMOS at checkout. That's Uni, OONI.com. And the code TMOS to get your Uni 3 or Uni Pro with 20% off. Take advantage now. The offer is only good till midnight on November 18th. And this, you can go to the website, too.
Yeah,
you can do that. Excuse me.
Fantastic.
A little Mike call that. Sorry about that. They don't want that when you're talking pizza. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. After I get off here, I am immediately in the car and going to the dentist. I have a chipped bonding.
When did this happen? Oh, he's allergic to dental work.
Look at this.
When did the chip happen?
I was with my daughter in New York, and I bit into a roll, and I felt a different texture in my tooth, and it doesn't look bad.
Was it day-old bread? Because normally bread is not
it's
quite...
not chip.
Yeah, that's not a chippable offense right there.
It was at Junior's, tourist diner.
Oh, okay.
Where the food was okay, and
chicken tastes like wood.
Was less okay. It was nasty. It was like, you have to really blow it to get bad food in New York. And that was the one day I was, it was the weekend was too much for me. And I walked in, I said, "Hey, I got a great place we can go to dinner." I just sound like the grease man. Hey, I can go take my daughter to brunch on Sunday. Yeah. And it was she
from the
sits down,
shade of the Brooklyn Bridge.
"Dad, why are we eating here?" I said, "Because I thought it'd be a good place close to my hotel." Yeah. And she says, "Dad, it's a real tourist joint." And it was nasty. And so I bit into this roll with my 2-day hangover, and it was just like, I got something here. So I had an appointment last week, and then I ended up rescheduling because I didn't want to be totally sick and in the dentist's office. I'm not going to subject those people to that type of thing.
New York almost killed you.
Yeah, it did.
It did. I just
Battle
can't
scars.
hang like I can't hang battle scars. Yeah. But I'll let you know. I'm going to my incredibly overpriced dentist with all of his Ritz-Carlton accoutrement around his little office suite there, and all of his perfectly uniformed little assistants.
What's the most
there,
garish thing that shows high cost in his office? Like, what is the thing that threw you the most?
The crown molding.
Yeah, that's a little much. Yeah.
Molding everywhere. It looks like, seriously, it looks like you're in some exotic, Las Vegas hotel suite.
Like the Bellagio?
Yeah.
Now my wife got me onto this guy. My wife actually farmed me off to this dentist, and he works, of course, his wife's a dentist too. And so, I go in with hate in my heart. Every time I walk in there, I can't help it.
How dare you overachieve?
Well, I'm dealing with the phone thing still because that hasn't gotten resolved. I'll be filing my claim tonight to see if that gets denied on my special phone. But I can't. And by the way, Rob's text messages are guest is that's what I saw today. Guest is and I'm like, I think he said the guest is all set.
What if isn't there a feature where you can have the phone read the text to him?
Yeah, but Mike can barely use the phone as it is.
Hey, that's not true.
Get to
That's completely unfair. That is completely unfair.
No.
That is not. That is. So I'll.
It's like a discotheque on a screen.
It's been tense.
I think the first time in over 3,000 shows we've used the word discotheque.
You realize that do you know my dilemma is I'm using the other phone,
right?
Because I need to get information, not just
as a doorstop.
I'm doing that because I can't read everything on this phone, and I hesitate to send this phone away because if I send this phone away, ultimately if they bone me, I'm just going to go back to this phone.
This is your insurance policy, this phone.
But the rule is that I'm getting the credit for this phone by sending it back within 10 days. This is, I know we did it yesterday, but I'm just going to tell you, they can lick it. They're so non-consumer friendly at this company that it's ridiculous.
Well, they have you over a barrel. There's nothing that we can hold back from them.
How much credit did they give you for your 7?
$200.
$200?
Yeah.
$200. You knew that already.
I feel like for those dollars, and I always weigh this, you would keep that phone for what you're talking about right now.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, that was an interesting story, wasn't it? We have to take another break because that's just the way it goes, and we're running late. You've made me late already. By the way, buy some books from Paul Doiron.
Can you take my phone trade-in, please, Brad?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Anyway, did I mention it's back to school for my little guy?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he had a great time yesterday. We'll take a break. We'll take a break. I'll tell you all about that. Ray of sunshine in the happy world of Florida.
Oh no!
Where my entire house windows, I look like I'm living in a cocktail glass on a humid afternoon. We'll take a break and come back with more fun on the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody.
Rob Mayer here from the Rob and Joe Show. Rob Spiewak and I have a lot in common. Our first name, Rob. We're both do a podcast here on the Moore Network. We're both funny guys. We both love to drink. We both have sex with Carrie Spiewak twice a year.
What?
Haven't been able to walk right in weeks. Rob and Joe Show, new episode every single week. Get on it, folks. That's for you, Carrie.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. How are you? This segment of the program is brought to you by Robinhood. If you think that financial services and investing, are you checking your Robinhood right now, Oscar?
I'm checking it right now. And let me tell you, by the way, so many people have been writing us directly about Robinhood and how easy it is to
Piece of cake.
Get involved in investing. I've been blown away by the response personally, Mike. I don't know your experiences. It's great.
Say hello to Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, those are exchange-traded funds, options, and cryptocurrencies, all commission-free. Robinhood is the non-intimidating way for stock market newcomers to invest for the first time with true confidence. Robinhood opens investing to everyone. It's simple. It's intuitive. Even for a newcomer, you're going to love it. The best part, no commission fees. Other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, but Robinhood doesn't charge commission fees. You trade your stocks and keep all of your profits. Plus, it's simple. Robinhood has easy-to-understand charts and market data. You can place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. I've done it. You will learn how to invest as you build your portfolio, and Robinhood has custom notifications or price movements. How's your portfolio doing, Oscar Santana?
Well, my portfolio has just started. As you know, when I this is what's great. When I bought the house, I liquidated everything, and now I'm in a position to start all over again, and Robinhood has made it easy, Mike. It's made it easy.
I love Robinhood. I really do. You'll learn how to invest as you build your portfolio. Robinhood is giving TMOS listeners a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio. Sign up at MikeO'MaraShow.Robinhood.com. That's Mike O'Mara. I said Mike O'Mara Show again.
It's a peculiar website, but it's worth it. So let's
go to our website.
Yeah, go to our website and click that button.
MikeO'Mara.Robinhood.com. www.MikeO'Mara.Robinhood.com.
That's the way to do it, yes.
At the beginning of that.
Full stop.
Colon.
How you doing?
The website is the best way to do so.
Yes.
All right.
Hit the button. Hit the Robinhood button. The button.
Thank you.
Hit the button. The shiny red candy-like button. Button. Gumdrop button.
So yesterday, first day of preschool, the last preschool, he's going a little later, so he'll be a little older and not the youngest kid in the class like he was before. So he's in 1 year. It's a Montessori school that he's going to. And yesterday we picked him up, and did you have a good day? No. That's the nice thing about a 5-year-old. You get that immediately. No. Daddy, I didn't have it. Did you learn anything today? No. Did you meet any new friends? No. Do you know any of the names from the kids? No. Ooh. I said, are there any nice girls in your class? She says, there's a real little girl. I said, oh, that's nice. She's mean. All right, great. I'm glad you had. And then today he comes in, crawls in, 6:30 a.m., crawls in with me, says, Daddy, I don't want to go to school. So I get this. He's laying this all on Dad. Because Mom tells me I have a ton of crap to do this morning, so I am out of the bed like S through a goose, and I jump in and I'm doing it, and I don't have any time to interact. She calls me. I said, by the way, did he lay the whole I don't want to go to school thing on you today? She said, nope. He went in, and I said, how you doing? He said, bye, Mom. He loves it. He's loving every minute of it.
This will not change because it's the same thing but opposite with my kids.
Really?
Yeah, it'll be sunshine and daisies for me, and then Julia will complain to Carrie.
Well,
divide
I don't
and conquer.
know what's really going on.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
And it's a very chill environment. Like, it's very dimly lit in certain areas where the kids are all really cool. I don't want to say it's like hippie-like, but it's definitely kind of
like flying Virgin Air.
Yeah, but you know what's good is the last preschool he was in was pandemonium. I told you I would go pick my son up, and there were like 3 kids in there that called me daddy. But do you remember that when I told you that? Yes. Where they'd all go, Daddy, Daddy, and like the first day I reacted because I thought it was so cute, and then the 15th time I picked him up and they're doing it, I'm like, oh God, please shut up.
It's called discipline.
Kids, with that, yeah.
What's the length of his day? What's the length of his day at the Montessori school?
8 to 3.
That's a pretty long day.
I said to my wife yesterday, I said, well, how you doing? Going to enjoy your vacation? Are you going to enjoy your
Did you all go to preschool? Did you, Mike, or you, Rob?
Yeah, I went to preschool. I went to a preschool at Gideon Wells Library.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a guy who didn't know what preschool is, and my parents probably didn't understand it either, the concept of that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of days at home just with the pledge in one hand and rag in the other, cleaning up.
The pledge is actually furniture polish, not something he was forced to recite.
Yeah, I can understand why you didn't have preschool.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
I can understand that there was no preschool.
Could be worse, Mike.
Upbringing.
My mom would say, "Make sure you
Okay.
dust the furniture," and I would do that all day.
This is
Wax
why I knew how to
on, wax
figure.
off.
This is why I knew how to figure sales tax at age 5 because they had me in the fields.
Did you go to preschool?
No,
Rob?
I started kindergarten.
We were working.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know,
My son's
amazingly,
going to be like on his 3rd year of preschool.
maybe
This
get a
is,
degree.
Yeah, absolutely. A PhD in pre.
A pre-HD.
Pre-HD. Yeah, so he's cool. He's doing all right. So
Does he
we'll
at
see
least
what
like his
happens
teacher?
tomorrow.
Have you met the teacher? What's the teacher situation?
I met the director of the school, and she was out in front in this little lobby.
You
and,
park there, and you park there.
Don't come
No,
any
there's not
further.
the pandemonium. You go in, it's quiet room. Kids are all sitting on the floor. It's
Is there a
just kind
false
of odd.
wall where they weave baskets in the back that you don't know about?
They come
No, I
in,
don't
they
know
sit
what's
down,
going
they
on.
drink their Jesus juice, and they're all tired.
I haven't met.
It's
You know what?
nappy poo.
I'm certainly gonna do my share of drop offs and pickups, but right now I'm letting my wife handle it. So because
I think that's
just
good.
don't want to get into the whole "Are you a father or a grandfather?" routine. Don't want to do that yet. And then,
But you know, it's not
but
any
also-
easier for Carla because they go in and she says, "Are you a mother or are you a student?"
Yeah. What I
You
like
the
to
nanny?
do when I pick up, I like to get there about 20 minutes early and
Yeah.
just kind of sit in the car and just check out the scene. But anyway, just see what's
Do you
going
think that
on.
Paul Doiron? Do you think Paul
I'm not a
Doiron?
pervert.
Oh my
Huh?
God!
Do you think author Paul Doiron could write well about the scene?
Oh, probably. I haven't seen any of
She looks like she works
the
now.
dads.
Nape
you
of her
know.
neck.
Probably unemployed.
All I know is Carla said that coming out today that there was and we do not, as you boys have been down here, this is not Beverly Hills. This is a nice neighborhood. It's a nice place. But there was a McLaren in back of her today.
Oh my God! Based
Coming
on that,
out of the neighborhood.
Robert would come visit you. Based on that, at the chance of seeing one, he'd come
Carla
see you.
said and I said, oh, cool. And I thought it was going to be a cool story. No, of course, it was my wife. He flashed his lights at me. Like, so you pull out of the neighborhood, then you got to do a U-ey on the main drag.
Yes.
And then he flashed his lights
Move it,
at her.
lady.
What a
we're
surprise
gonna be-
that someone in a McLaren would be a dick.
Yeah, that's it. But that's going to be that's going to be the
Also-
little. That's going to be the little process tonight. That's what we're going to. The little adventure tonight will be finding the dick with the McLaren.
Nice.
How is he going to park
it.
that McLaren in your neighborhood? It's basically an old folks community.
Yeah.
And the
Right.
and the McLaren is so low to the ground. He must scrape it up every time he rolls into the driveway.
No, he
Yeah,
could park under a Buick LeSabre.
You can't park on the street.
An
that's
old
true.
Buick. We will take a break. Come back with news you may not need right here on the Flying By Mike O'Mara Show every Paul day.
Informed, intelligent, irreverent, political persuasions.
Hey, it's Chris Frace with Political Persuasions. This week, Mike and I talk about the sexual assault allegations against SCOTUS nominee Brett Kavanaugh.
3.
The systemic causes of partisanship. Yeah, it's a little wonky, but you're going to like it. And I finally learned how to shut down an O'Mara rant. Tune in.
You can download Political Persuasions
boy.
at politicalpersuasions.com, iTunes,
ranting.
Stitcher, and wherever fine podcasts are found.
I'll be ranting this week.
Yes.
What an interesting time we live in.
Oh,
Does it
man.
never stop? It never stops.
No,
It's
it
like-
seems to redouble.
We don't prep political persuasions. There's no need for it. You just
No.
look at the news
And
in
react,
the morning.
yeah.
See who else is coming out. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. If you're headed to Las Vegas for TMOS Live, I was joking with Rob and Joe before. We've added an extra special treat to make the weekend even more special. Die Laughing Productions presents the world's greatest comedy murder mystery show, Back to the 80s. Tickets are still available for this hilarious 1980s themed mystery involving a high school reunion, a 30-year-old time capsule, and murder. Starring 98 Rock Morning Show host and all-round good guy Justin Schlegel. More broadcasting's Rob and Joe, plus special onstage guests Mike O'Meara, Rob Spilwack, and Oscar Santana. But the real star of the show is you. Select audience members get to play parts in the show. For tickets, click the banner at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Come hang with us and make this weekend last a little longer. Back to the 80s. Drink, laugh, solve a murder. See you November 3rd in Las Vegas. We are really, really excited about doing that the night after our live show at the Zappos Council Chambers Theater. The night after, we will see you there. Shortly before Anthony Bourdain took his own life, his girlfriend, Asia Argento, was seen with another man. Some people have latched onto that and blamed her for his suicide. This is just not fun. But she says, quote, he had cheated on me too. Okay, that's odd. It wasn't a problem with us. He was a man who traveled 265 days a year. When we saw each other, we took really great pleasure in each other's presence. But we are not children. We are grown-ups. All right, she's Italian, right? It's a whole European thing.
Yeah,
maybe
it's not on the surface, if it's an open relationship, then it's not that big of a deal.
We're only getting one side.
Yeah.
You don't know, yeah. We had lives, we had wives and husbands, we had children. I cannot think of Anthony as somebody who would do an extreme gesture like this for something like that. Okay, I feel bad for her. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Still, but didn't she have some sort of sexual thing that was controversial too with an underage kid?
17-year-old. You're right.
The 17-year-old, right?
Yeah.
So she's been in it.
And Anthony paid the $400K to try to bury the story.
All right, she's had a rough time of it. Yeah. I mean, I don't put myself in anybody else's shoes, and I never judge. Still,
that's what we love about you, Mike.
She understands why people have come after her. Quote, I understand that the world needs to find a reason. I would like to find a reason, too. I don't have it. Maybe I would feel some solace in thinking there was something that happened. Well, I can only say one thing about this. You hear it a lot about suicide. It's an amazingly selfish thing to do, and you see what you leave behind. And it's terrible that somebody gets to that point in their lives where they feel like they have to do something like this. And, he's got an 11-year-old daughter, and he leaves this girlfriend behind and all that. And, I'm watching they're promoting the hell out of this on CNN, his last episodes, and it's
I've been
morbid.
watching.
Yeah, it's just...
It sits badly
How do you
with
feel
me.
about it? Isn't it weird? It sits badly with me, too.
Mike, the man educated the world about not just culture, but the culinary, just a different culinary world, right?
Yeah. Right.
Where I got to be honest with you, I'm not a foodie, so for me to watch that show even before he passed, I felt like I was being educated about the world and the food that came with it.
His legacy, Oscar, I think, would be get on an airplane, fly to a foreign city, get off the airplane, go to a hotel, and then just walk around the city.
Yeah.
Don't do what so many people do. The whole cruising world, where you take cruise ships and they poop you off into a little area. I think if you fly to a city, and I'm not a world traveler. I have not traveled extensively throughout the world. My sister and brother-in-law have done that. And I think that they've done it both ways, where they have gone in groups and then they haven't. And I think people, the way I love to do it, the best trip I ever had was to Ireland, where I booked one night.
I remember that.
I got in a car and I drove, and I stopped in each town, and I'd go to a little restaurant and I'd ask if there was any place good to stay at a B&B, and that was the best way to experience the country. He was all about diving in. I
watch the show now, and I think it's because he doesn't show that dark side of him.
Right.
I feel like it's a celebration of his life.
Okay, well, maybe I'll check it out.
I think the promos lack reverence somehow. They just don't.
I do too. Rob, I totally agree with you. It's weird to me, and it kind of feels exploitive. But who knows? Nothing makes better TV than people in their 60s talking about their sexual activity. I watched this clip. Yesterday, The Talk treated us to a thrilling report from Sharon Osbourne on her sex life with Ozzy.
Yuck.
Well, I got a good term out of it that I may use. She said, sex is a bone of contention in their house. Pardon the pun. Because, quote, he's got a problem. He's just like a rabbit.
Oh,
goodness.
But I'm only into it on birthdays, Christmas. At this point in my life, it's special occasions. Well, that's cool. She's being honest. She also joked that we're in our 37th year. No wonder he fiddles other people. No, he doesn't. He's a good boy. Yeah. Oh, is he really? I don't think he always
Did they have a problem? They almost got divorced because he was fiddling.
Yeah, there are lots of fiddling.
All right,
but you know what?
You got the clip? Do you have the clip?
I was going to just play this clip instead.
Right,
it'll be okay.
It'll be okay. Okay, that's Ozzy Osbourne.
That's right.
Thank you very much. CBS is looking for a replacement for Julie Chen on The Talk. Here we go. And one of the not always reliable British tabloids says that the front runner is Rosie O'Donnell.
Hey, that'd be terrific because everyone loves her. Which Rosie will we get? The nice one or the mean one?
Rosie O'Donnell. A so-called source says she has a proven track record from her own show to her time on The View, and despite being polarizing, she brings viewers. Rosie can be a bit intense when it comes to politics, but she's incredibly good at connecting with an audience and would be an ideal fit.
Did you
Of
see
course.
that
Always
Kelly
Rosie.
Clarkson's getting her own show?
Yes, I saw
Is
that.
she?
Yeah.
Really?
Talk show.
Oh.
Yeah.
How
And
exciting.
that
All right.
they're really promoting the S out of it.
Of course.
It's going to be like, they think it's going to be a new Oprah.
Yeah.
Really?
It's going to be the biggest thing since Oprah. Sure. That's it.
Apparently, more and
So
more
mean.
couples.
You heard what I wasn't saying, maybe. I
think it's going to be really big.
Yeah, it's huge.
Apparently, more and more couples who don't really have.
Is it
any
going to be
problems-
widescreen?
Apparently, more and more couples who don't really have.
Oh, I caught it on the bounce.
That's you. Let me start again. Apparently, more and more couples who don't really have any problems with each other are going to therapy to get help dealing with their in-laws. Ruh-roh. Peter Pearson.
Who?
Peter Pearson is he is a relationship coach in Menlo Park, California.
Does he ever
There
get
you go.
dessert near the Bay Bridge?
Well, I know if Peter Pearson was coming down the, towards the Ocean City area and was going to head down towards the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, it might be a great idea for Peter Pearson to stop by the Whitehall Inn and sample one of their wonderful confections known as Whitehall's famous fruit fritters. Peter Pearson says that about 1 in 5 couples who see him are now in there for help with in-laws. There are 2 main types of problems. Someone's jealous of how much time their partner spends with their family, or someone doesn't get along with their partner's parents. I have only one in-law. It's
Peter
my mother-in-law.
Pearson's partner's parents?
When my wife spends time with her mother, it allows me to just depart and get into my own thing and watch TV and chill. So I'm cool with that. And I'm very blessed that my mother-in-law, when she visits, it's not like there's anybody here. She does her own thing and it's chill. But I have over the years, I've had about 15, 16 in-laws, and some of them have been good, some of them have been problematic. Every situation is different, according to Peter Pearson. He says, as a general rule, it's good to get your in-law problems worked out before the tension grows to, grow a set.
Yeah, Peter Pearson.
Peter Pearson, you don't need therapy to deal with in-laws, okay? You got it. There are a-hole in-laws and there are okay in-laws.
Yeah, I got very lucky. I got very lucky with mine.
Avoid the a-holes. That's
right.
what I would do, all right? And if you want to, know how to deal with a difficult in-law, send a letter to the Mike O'Mara Show and direct it to Shannon Zabayos. Thank you very much. That's all we need to do. That's it. I'm fine with that. Hey. A new survey asked people who what goes into having a good work-life balance. I picked this story because I'm going to get my dinger out because I did really, really well, and I never do well on these surveys.
Didn't Judge Kavanaugh get in trouble for taking his dinger out? Hey, but I want to tell you.
Hey, he never had intercourse.
That's right.
So
he's a virgin
that's his
forever.
defense.
Might still be.
Here are their picks for the top 10 things you do that show you've got a well-rounded life. I never dreamed I would score well.
Okay.
Number 1, spending time with your family.
Sure.
Yes. Number 2, watching TV and movies.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, getting enough sleep. I'm okay with that. Number 4, taking your time for yourself every day. Do that. Number 5, listening to music or podcasts. Hello, did you hear that? Number 5, music or podcasts
Very
is
important.
on a list of 10 for well-rounded life. Hey. Number 6, spending time with friends. Okay, I have.
For 80 minutes a day, Mike, you do.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That'll count. Number 7, keeping your house clean and organized. My wife does it. I don't, but my wife does. Number 8, having sex. Not as good as it. I think I'm a normal 59-year-old male. Thank you. And I won't do any Sharon Osbourne thing here. Number 9, spending time outdoors in nature. Yes. Rode bikes last night. We do that. And, number 10 is the last one, and it's the one that I failed miserably. Number 10, spending time with a pet. Thank you very much.
With all those dings, you're still so unhappy.
I know. More time with the dog, I guess.
Let me explain why that might be. Can I do that for you? Yeah, get it to light up. No, it won't. It won't because you want it to. You won't, iPhone. Yeah. There you go. Oh, there it is. Now turn off again. Ass phone.
Ass phone.
Literally.
It's the new iPhone ass.
Little something.
Thank you.
No, everything's A-okay. Everything's. By the way, would you like to hear the new sound in the middle of the night that Beluga makes? This is what. All right, this is what I'm going to try to duplicate this. This is every night now at some point in the middle of the night. Sometimes I hear it, sometimes I don't. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I mean the kind of sound where I wake up and go, is that the last sound?
Yeah.
Could it be? That's all I'll say.
This is my new dog, Death Rattle.
You'll notice that I'm not bringing that up as often. There's a reason for that. Thank you.
Oh, because you're a class guy.
Now a little something. The cops in Peoria, Illinois, got a call from Walmart last Thursday about a 30-year-old woman who was busted shoplifting a Bible. When the cops got there, she told them why she'd stolen the Bible. The police report says she claimed, quote, she was trying to be more Christian. She also shoplifted a shirt, leggings, pencils, bookmarks, and a quart of oil.
Yeah!
God love her. She was charged with misdemeanor theft, and as all biblical scholars will tell you, the bottom and little-known 11th commandment is, thou shalt not get caught. Especially at Walmart. Thank you. Thank you very much. We will take a break, and when we come back, it's the Audio Vault with Mr. Rob Spiewak right here. Remember that sound. We'll be right back on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Oh, this is great. You're going to love this.
Hey, it's your buddy Oscar Santana,
There
and
he
this is Todd Moore. You know us from Tech 411, the tech show that's sweeping the nation.
That's right, and we are here to help get you all your tech news, reviews, and apps you need to own.
It's very simple.
Very
and
simple.
It's absolutely free.
So subscribe on
I muted
iTunes
Todd
and check
on
us out on the
Facebook this
Moore
week.
Broadcasting Network.
And for the record, we're not banging.
I was like, enough of your trolls. I got my life to live. Mute.
Yeah.
I can't wait for a new episode.
Todd and Coulter.
7 days.
Anyway, welcome
7
back to
days.
the Mike O'Mara Show. There's a chill in the air, and that can only mean one thing. It's autumn, biatches. Go buy some candy corn, a-hole. How about some hot cider, you bitch on wheels? Go hang with some festive and colorful Indian corn on your front door, you demented half-wit. Sometimes reading Rob's copy late in the show is a bit of a challenge. Beware, it's also the time of year for, ticks, bloodsuckers.
All those things.
Get the bonus show, all right? Don't be a bloodsucker. Quit sucking. MikeO'MaraShow.com. That is where you get that.
And Mike, if I may remind you of one thing.
Yeah.
Gourds.
They're ripping my flesh off. 35 minutes to dentist.
All right.
Rob Spiewak, let's open up the audio vault for today. This is Tuesday, September 25, 2018. Take it away.
Since you already mentioned it, I'll spare you the tape of Judge Brett Kavanaugh saying that he was a virgin till well into college. So, how bad does he want this job that he has to make that statement? That's all I was thinking,
it's funny you mention it that way, because I was watching all this last night, and I was saying to myself, man, I mean, to reach that level of success in your life, to be the pinnacle where you are going to be on the Supreme Court of the United States. I mean, how many individuals?
Amazing.
I mean, really pretty and it's a lifetime deal. But boy, oh boy, I mean, you're certainly earning it, when you get that. And, some people believe him. Some people don't believe him. It's crazy. This is absolute. There's so much new ground in this world now.
Crazy time to be alive.
And I watched his wife sitting next to him. Of course, he goes on Fox. Okay. I just don't. He goes on one team's channel.
Yeah.
I guess that's the favorable team to him. But I'm watching the wife, and it was just this
Cringe.
whole thing.
Cringeworthy.
She didn't look happy.
There's a third now that's supposed to be coming out like the day after tomorrow or whatever. I mean, it's craziness.
So you would think that he was, there might be some competition for having a bad week from a gentleman by the name of Rod Rosenstein, who was driving to the White House yesterday, and the rumor was he was either going to quit or be fired. And it was such a substantiated rumor that CNN followed his car and watched it park at the White House, and then nothing happened. So really what they did is they had a live footage of a car chase that wasn't happening.
Exactly.
And this is actual unedited tape of CNN yesterday.
I'm confused why there's so much confusion.
And I wish I could help with your confusion, but I too am confused with your confusion, as those who are watching right now are so confused.
Yes, well, now we know what the C in CNN stands for.
So it was really a lot of resources misspent. But as of Showtime, still has a job. Now, Bradley Cooper, I'm excited about this movie. I will see this movie, is doing a remake, the fourth remake of A Star is Born with Lady Gaga.
Kind of looks like it's got the right kind of star power. Lady Gaga is her talent level. I think I could take a peek at this one.
And the thing that I always wonder about when they do a huge concert sequence for a movie, how do they do it? They can't pay for extras because there's 50,000 people. So what they did is they went to a festival in California called the Stagecoach Festival, and here's Bradley Cooper describing how fast they had to shoot the sequence of them in concert. It's pretty remarkable.
We jumped on Stagecoach. That was a live concert. We had 8 minutes in between Jamie Johnson and Willie Nelson, and that's all real. So I didn't know, you get up there and everybody's like, it's in between acts, and just say, hey, we're going to shoot a movie. Thanks. I don't know what's going to happen.
You!
Where's Willie? So all that footage they shot in like 10 minutes. That's amazing to me. And cool. Because you have to get to the dentist and we're a little short on time, we'll cut to our closer here. Yeah. Her name is Malia Emma. She's 7 years old. And if you haven't seen this on the internet yet, you will see it today. She sang the national anthem at the LA Galaxy soccer game. I'm going to play you the finish of the anthem. This girl is 7 years old. Take a look for it.
I'll watch that.
She's incredible. That's your Magic Audio Vault. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.
That's intense. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Mike O'Mara Show. If you have a message for our Tuesday mailbag, send it to Rob with 2 B's at MikeO'MaraShow.com. What a great one today. Thank you for all those great letters. Our mailing address is TMOS Box 32101, Washington, D.C., 20007. Remember, voting is the engine of freedom and democracy, and it's coming up close. A lot of people are telling you that. I have been telling you that all summer. So please register and vote. For Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, this is Mike O'Mara inviting you to join us for the best part of your day, the Mike O'Mara Show. Bye-bye, everybody.
So long.
Ciao, ciao.
Before you go, please make a mental note. Today's show was made possible by the TMOS bonus packages. You can secure yours right now by going to MikeO'MaraShow.com and clicking on the red bonus banner. Buy it or give it. Either way, you're helping out TMOS, and that's a good thing. Thank you, and go in peace.
Ooh, that's a bingo.